we say goodbye to Bacon as we look at the grand final. Max, both of these teams had really ushered in a new era with new talent, and it's Forkidden ushering in the first goal.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, first of all, great goal straight out the gate, but should we be that surprised? Forkidden have been explosive on the ball every single series thus far, just like they're exploding onto the scene. We've been waiting for this new talent to rise and to finally kind of overtake the old guard. And this winter split, regional number 1, this has been the greatest showing of that yet thus far. I mean, Forkidden, they do look unstoppable. Fiber, as well as the rest of Direwolves, they still have that young energy to them. It's really been a great showing for the entire region.
Well, Fiber was part of that trio of young players that were revitalizing region and gonna make OC perform on the world stage. All of Forkidden became that when they took that second place in their first event. And you even have Misty, who's now out of the woodworks, finally having these huge performances.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't want to say it's the complete changing of the guard just yet. I mean, we had our land just before, and it was Ground Zero and Renegades, the usual suspects. But if we are going to see that shift finally materialize, it's results like this that matter. It's the fact that we finally get a final without either of the two usual suspects. Yes, sometimes the Direwolves make their way through. Yes, sometimes it would be Forkidden who would make their way through to the final, but never have we seen both of them miss out. Banana Head doesn't miss either. 2-0 lead.
Yeah, just continuing on. But I'd have to argue this has been the changing of the guard. We've already seen the changing of the guard with Fever in the top team, with Amphis in the top team. If you look back at OCE, it was 4 years of the exact same players sitting at the very top for the entire time, and now it all feels so fresh.
And especially when you look at the play styles of this new guard as well, how it is that new flashy, faster pace style of Rocket League that, whereas with the older guard, it has been the more controlled, perhaps a little bit slower, perhaps, you know, relying sometimes more at that team play. And what makes me excited is I still see ways how Forkidden and these young guns can grow. Fever almost is there. Fever is almost that complete player, but imagine when Forkidden starts to utilize even more of these crazy team plays with their mechanics. Imagine when their defense looks as insane as their offense at the same time. I mean, right now, all they need is this throw themselves at the ball mentality, but as they develop with this third goal, it's going to be even better moving forwards.
I mean, that's the crazy thing too, is last split, Ground Zero and Renegades were the fast teams. And now Forkidden have taken that speed and just blown out of the wood. They're making those teams look slow. They're making Direwolves look slow as well. They're just getting shots because, well, they're so close to the ball. They're able to take a shot before anyone of Direwolves is ready to have to defend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this series, it has just started. I mean, we're still getting our opening points across. Yummy, it's 3-0. They have sprinted out to a massive lead already. Forkidden, they just have taken that momentum from the Renegade series and are running with it.
Yeah, this is the exact same as they've played in every series so far. A really, really fast start, and you know, they've had the chance to warm up as well. No break for Forkidden. They go one series to the other. So that's at least a positive here for Direwolves. They probably expected to have a slow start after the break.
Yeah, and the Direwolves, you know, sometimes they are a team that they like their lower scoring games. They like to be perhaps a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical at moments. I don't expect this to be the pace of the entire series. I think this is Forkidden still riding that momentous high, but as soon as the Direwolves put that one play through, get that one opening, they can start to claw themselves back in this matchup.
The thing is, Direwolves do like a slower pace game for sure. They like sending one person forward for a solo play. Against Renegades, they were able to build a lot of open area on the pitch. The question will be, can they do it against Forkidden when Forkidden are pretty much not caring where their opponents are doing, or what they're doing. And Walcott, he slowed it down enough there to fake out the defense.
Just as you said, can they find a way to slow it down and get some open spaces on the pitch? Walcott does that with the 50. So they are going to find those openings. And I think if you're a Direwolves fan, just getting that one goal probably is a little bit of a sigh of relief.
There's still an opportunity here for Direwolves too, as Walcott puts another shot on. Just saved out. Another one missed though, as Misty, he was so accurate earlier on in the day. If he can find that accuracy again, that'd be just one goal away. And then multiple misses coming out in
no way. Wait, and then he goes in? Welcome to our grand final, apparently. I'm still trying to comprehend that. A couple swings, a couple misses, a massive bump, and Fiber pushes it through.
And that happens when one person misses it and you're expecting to go for a challenge. You said people flying everywhere, and Fiber was able to react, some of the best reaction times of anyone in OCE, just to keep himself into position to flip over to that side. That's the fastest way to reposition yourself sideways, is that side flip.
And I think, as we see the pitch attempt come through, more fakes might be more answers for Direwolves, because that turns into a very efficient way to slow the pace of the game down. As soon as you have players missing, intentionally or not, the ball sitting still, it allows you to recompose yourself, look for openings, and you know Forkidden is going to launch themselves at it. They're expecting you to make that touch, make that play. If you can get them off balance by any means necessary, it's going to be good things for your team.
Super Lucky's been the one driving forward for Forkidden so far. He's often the goal scorer for them as well. If they could get another one, it would be securing this game one, but Direwolves have looked so much better in this second half.
That they have, as Misty tries to stay on the ball. Scrub will push it to the corner, but Direwolves are still set up to sustain an attack. Final 30 seconds remaining. Still need to find that equalizer. Fiber's going to go for the ground pinch. Scrub breaks it up and turns it into a goal.
If that's not a display of what the Forkidden MO is, I don't know what is. Scrub, he just doesn't care. He's got the challenge. He's first man, so he can take some risks on where he challenges from. So his aim is to hit it in the net. It's not just to go for the safe 50.
And I can nearly guarantee you, he saw where the Direwolves were, and he knew, hold on, that's just a free open field. It's free real estate. If I can hit it through, Forkidden do just that, and now they've secured themselves game number one.
Misty, can he get one for the road as he's been faking underneath very successfully? Feels like Forkidden more ready for that play.
Fiber?
Whoa, but Fiber has faked out two members of the kids.
Again, it's going to be the fake game, I think, for Direwolves. They're going to have to disguise their approaches, disguise their touches, and, well, pull off plays like that. Fiber makes Forkidden look silly. 2 seconds left, Yummy. I mean, there's a chance, I guess.
You look at everybody else against Forkidden, and they've rushed themselves. Forkidden are always quick to intercept the shot as it happens. And this is where Direwolves slowing it down has been so successful. Forkidden here, though, they take game one. They need a long road to win the grand final with a bracket reset, but they start off strong.
Yeah, 1 down, 7 to go, right? Just an easy 7 games away, and perhaps that title can be theirs. Yet, they came out swinging. That was a very fast start as per usual. I still got to give credit where credit is due. That was 3 goals by the Direwolves in, the final minute and a half? Like, they weren't rolling over. They're going to make Forkidden fight for each and every one of these games. And that's why that lower bracket run, as impressive as it was, is a major hindrance for their chances.
Yeah, the longer it goes, the better Direwolves are going to be. And you saw that towards the end of that game, as the first 3 goals were the first 30-odd seconds, 60-odd seconds there for Forkidden. We'll see if that turns around. As Direwolves, we saw so much more from them earlier. We saw so much more from Misty in particular earlier.
Yeah, and I think give it time and soon they'll be able to adapt. They are a team that historically has been that defensive team. I mean, that average of over 5 saves per game before coming into this one speaks volumes. You would think a team with that sort of defensive mindset would be prepared for a team like Forkidden that constantly throws themselves at the ball, but plays like that out of Scrub really does make you question where the Direwolves are at.
And we say defensive when we do that. When it comes to Direwolves, we really mean more safe than defensive. It's more we'll send one person through to the play. And again, you look at that last game where Forkidden started getting demos because there was only one person left back. You're not expecting to see that from Direwolves very often. They should be able to keep 2 people back for most plays and yet still have a very solid solo-oriented offense.
And that's where the mechanics of these kids really are going to have to step up to try and make those 2 defenders misstep, misplay, be off balance, or burn too much boost. It is going to be a test for this Forkidden side. However, they were able to make it work in game number 1. They clearly have the confidence to go for it as Super Lucky does try to drive it straight through Fiber. This time the defense makes the read.
Well, Scrub has to keep this up high and waste a bit of time there because he had no support and no real chance to get power behind that ball. He did that perfectly, and you can see it again. Banana Head this time, just staying behind the ball, never giving Direwolves the opportunity to challenge. It's a huge bump as well. Forkidden start off strong again.
I love this reset pass to Super Lucky because it pushes it just forward enough for Super Lucky to drive the power for the pass and get that bump at the same time. A beautiful 1-2-3 play out of Forkidden. Second game in a row, they get a quick goal.
All set up by the fact that they are willing to just accept 50s coming towards them, and Direwolves have not been willing to take those 50s. Forkidden, though, if you do go for those 50s, you typically lose, so it ends up being such a lose-lose situation. Almost faked underneath. It should be a goal. Scrub gets number 2.
And again, we want to go one-on-one if we're Forkidden. We're going to make you look silly. Swing and a miss from Misty. Swing and a miss from Walcott. And not even the squishy could save him this time. 2-0 lead for Forkidden, once again running away with our second game.
This is almost the exact same timing as game number 1. A minute 10 for 2 goals. It's about a minute 20, a minute 30 for the third goal to come for Forkidden. They might even be rushing it here. Scrub was looking straight towards the net. But this time the Direwolves are ready.
Yeah, Direwolves are back, but it doesn't matter because Super Lucky will still play it forward. 3-0 lead.
Did we forget to go to the next game? This is the exact same scenario as the last one, and Super Lucky has scored the third in a minute and a half.
I mean, it's almost criminal how regular that's becoming because that read Super Lucky just made off that post was actually insane. Walcott, yes, was back on defense as far back as he could go, gave himself the most time to make that read, and still wasn't able to do it. Forkidden, they're that dynamic with their approaches. They're that dynamic in these one-on-one situations in front of the net, and they're just finding goal after goal after goal, no matter who they're against.
Something I like right now about Forkidden too is even though they're trying to play fast, they're not rushing. Something that you can get in your mind is you start playing fast and that's the only thing you do. But when Direwolves are giving them room on the pitch, you can see Forkidden trying to slow it down. There's a variation of pace. You see a fake out from Super Lucky as a part of that variation too. It makes them very unpredictable.
That was supposed to be the Direwolves MO in this series, but now Forkidden's faking them out instead. It's rough out there for the Wolfpack, and I think they're feeling very grateful they have that extra series in the bank because game number 2, it looks very similar to game number 1. It looks very similar to, series number 2 and 3. Renegades and Bliss each faltered to this fearless Forkidden side, and it's impressive to watch.
It's extremely rough out there. Direwolves have hit the post a couple of times now, and even just a bit of a booster would be good for them. We talked about shot accuracy being so important as well. Forkidden haven't necessarily needed the shot accuracy because they've opened up the net so hard that it becomes easy to take the shots.
And it's opening up the net against the Direwolves as well. It's so difficult to get them out of their back half sometimes, yet Forkidden are finding the ways to do it. At the moment, it's only one defender back in Misty. The touch is made, but with the rest of the team now starting to play a bit more passive, they're not always the fastest team to the ball, but when they are, they get the goal. Misty makes it 1-3.
Yeah, Forkidden are trying to play fast and you outpace them, you are going to create an opening in that forward half. And of course, it's always going to be Misty, the one pushing up, trusting the teammate, creating those counter-attack opportunities for Direwolves.
And Misty is the one who needs to get back to that similar form that we saw before against the Renegades. In that matchup, Misty looked unstoppable. And so far, I mean, there's been a couple goals here and there, and we're still early into our grand final, but Misty's been kind of quiet in comparison from what we saw in the winner's bracket.
It's hard to live up to that series that Misty had before, and that's why it's important for all of Direwolves to have a huge performance, because it's not just Misty, I feel like, underperforming a little bit. We haven't seen too much from Fiber. I'm still pretty much always happy with Walcott's performance. He's always consistent, especially with his dribbles and his defense, but we need all 3 players to be up to the mark.
Yeah, even when he drives himself into the post, is able to recover in those types of situations. Here comes Scrub setting up Banana Head. Not today, Misty says. Not yet, although Banana Head's there. Another scoring opportunity is missed for Forkidden.
I think what was crazy, I expected a goal so much because normally Forkidden are playing so incredibly close on the attack there that it would have been, but they have got a 2-goal lead with 50 seconds. They don't need to be super far pushed up to win this game, and they just keep applying the pressure. Walcott doing the same with the demo. Fiber looking for the demo. It's a good spawn from Banana Head, and that lucky spawn may have saved Forkidden.
Yeah, with only 30 seconds remaining, Direwolves really would have liked to get that goal in now. Kind of desperation moment for the team in orange. It will be Forkidden looking to hold the ball on that opposite end of the field, and if they do so, they're going to get a massive 2-0 lead.
It's super lucky. He has to run back here. 15 seconds for Direwolves to try and get just one goal on the board and give themselves a kickoff, and it's not going to happen. Forkidden, they are looking so strong today. They're going to go 2-0 up in the grand final. This is
I love this. Like, they're far forward, right? They have the game on lock, and yet they're still looking for more.
They're always going to be pushing up, but they didn't push up as aggressively. They didn't take the same risks while still staying in the face, while still trying to play fast. So I like that coming out from Forkidden.
2 down, 6 to go. I'm sure that's what they're thinking at this stage. 2 dominant performances. Game 1 got a little shaky, but Game 2, Forkidden, they never really let the Direwolves back in it. We didn't catch that late flurry, and well, the flurry that we did see, it was all on the Forkidden side. They are still just as aggressive as ever.
11 shots to 6, a lot more touches coming out from Forkidden as well. We're going to see a tactical timeout coming out from the Direwolves at this point. They've got their coach Vive on the comms. He's going to be talking with them, getting them in the right mindset, telling them to play their game. I don't know if you really would make any adjustments in this first series if you're Direwolves. Instead, maybe use that extra time to keep feeling out Forkidden.
Yeah, I kind of in agreement right there, just because Forkidden, they come at you at such a different pace than a lot of your other opponents. You might need that extra game or two to really figure them out, as opposed to, you know, situations where it's a best of 5 or even one best of 7 where you don't get that extra luxury. Winner's bracket, once again, paying dividends. However, I still do want to see them take at least one game in this first series. You can't let them 4-0 you, because that would just mean all of the momentum and then some are on that Forkidden side.
Well, I mean, the momentum is all on Forkidden's side, and we've seen it in the past in the grand finals before, when there is multiple series, when it was best of 7 sets in the last one, that you could lose a 4-0 and still go on and win the next series. There is an easy mental reset when it is a new series, and a momentum reset at the same time.
I feel like it was Ground Zero who was very good at that during RLCS. That always seemed to get that against the Renegades, where they would like 4-0, then have a very, very tight 7-game series, and then come back and 4-0 again. Like, it felt very
that definitely
doable.
happened once, yeah.
Yeah, like that's the iconic one. That's the one that always comes to my mind, right? So I feel as if, yeah, you are right. You can bounce back from a rough series, but when you're getting run over like a freight train against a team that's so fast, so aggressive, I don't know. It feels like you're sliding down the side of a mountain and you're just desperately trying to grip into anything, but you're just falling faster and faster.
Well, you know what they'd say, momentum is a lie, and we casters like to talk about it way too much. We'll see
like
if that momentum does continue here. Forkidden, way too strong at the start of game number 3 as well.
Another opening kickoff for the Forkidden side. Banana Head was the one who somehow saved Boost through all of that to jump up and slam it through. What impresses me the most, though, there was multiple Forkidden members already there waiting for it to fall down. Even if Banana Head had missed it, I think it was Scrub who was right behind him. That flurry attack still finding goals for the Forkidden side.
I feel like I haven't seen Forkidden lose a single 50 off these crazy challenges. So not only are they rushing their challenges, but they're doing it so fast that Direwolves are not expecting it, not able to get behind that ball well enough. It's another 50 win there by Banana Head.
It's that quicksand effect. You miss one, you miss two, and it feels like you can never just get yourself behind that ball successfully. And eventually, you start having the nerve to go for those challenges, and that's something you cannot afford to do against Forkidden, who are once again knocking on the Direwolves' door.
And something I criticized a lot for OCE at the international event, where we really watched how AEU, NA, SAM, everybody matched up, was how much of an effect they had off the ball. And Direwolves here, stealing boost, looking for demos, doing a lot off the ball right there to open it up for Misty.
Yeah, that was set up from that challenge out of Walcott, perfectly placed for Misty, who still has shades of that winner's bracket final. That shot was not going to miss, and the Direwolves finally have a tie game after the first minute.
But even if you think of some of the highest demoing players, like we saw from Walcott there, one of the highest demoing players in the region, still usually pales to the best teams of the others. And I feel like Forkidden today have had so many times where Scrubs just going to steal boost, just going for a demo. And now we're starting to see that from Direwolves as well with a double demo from Misty. And opening here right in front of net, Walcott sinks it. Direwolves have the lead.
I think this timeout is paying a little bit of dividends. Regroup. How do we want to approach this? Let's get in their face. Let's steal their boost. Let's get those demos. Let's challenge up the pitch. And it does get them 2 goals. Yeah, that kickoff didn't go their way, but it's a kickoff. Sometimes those can be looked over. Direwolves, they're looking like a new team.
Well, this is how we saw Walcott do it when he took that grand final. He went full out, demos, attacks, and a kickoff goal for Direwolves. They now have completely flipped the script.
I feel like if we had changed the name tags around, we would still be singing the praises of Forkidden, right? Like, because it looks like the Direwolves are playing as Forkidden did almost in those first 2 games. They're going for the aggressive challenges, and now they're winning the 50s. They're being that faster team to the ball. And Forkidden has been a little bit behind. Granted, that could all turn around still. The demos are coming through. Pass down to Super Locky, intercepted by Misty.
That was a crazy demo from Super Locky. He was so willing to push forward, use all of his boost to open up the net. This is higher stuff, Banana Head now going for it. This is the most physical game of Rocket League we've seen in OCE.
It looks like the AFL pitch where everyone is just in fist fights just off camera, just like everyone bumping and trying to take each other out as only a couple players go for the ball. Eventually, we get that clear across the middle of the field. Direwolves will have a chance. Misty throwing it down. Does that go in? Not quite. Super lucky with the save.
Even still, you see Banana Head chasing Fiber. They are going for it right now. And it's a good opportunity to disrupt, but faked out. Walcott, he almost just let that roll in. It was almost a disaster.
Yeah, Walcott actually missed it. I think it was Super Lucky who wound up banging it through. I'm not sure if it still would have gone in, but yeah, that was a kind of crazy play right there.
Well, he's playing with fire, Walcott, and he is starting to get on fire. Direwolves 4-1 now. They're getting a 3-goal lead. They're getting a 4-goal lead. Misty beating everyone to the ball.
And it's a hat trick for Misty in this game. We were questioning where was Misty hiding after game number 2. Well, just had to take a timeout to find him. A great shot off that kickoff. The Direwolves, they are so rejuvenated in this series.
A 4-goal lead. I think the biggest run we've had in this series so far. It just goes to show how quickly it can turn game to game, how one adjustment can make all the difference. And you can see again, this should be another opening. It's in. Fiber! He's received the pass. Direwolves have a 5-goal lead now.
This series has already entered that ridiculous level, I feel like, with the result we're getting from this game right here. Fiber just trusting the team to find that clear up the pitch. Wide open field for Kitten. They threw too much too far forward, and it's a pretty open net.
We've seen an entire series in this one game, it feels like. We've got the quick plays out from Direwolves right at the very start of the kickoff. We've seen Demoville, and now it's turned into a completely different series where it's counterattacks from Direwolves. The play styles constantly evolving for both these teams.
Yeah, the only thing we're missing right now from the Direwolves side is that pop-off Fiber goal where he does a reset over multiple defenders. Locky had power behind that, but doesn't quite get the goal.
There's still a lot of time in this game, and I don't know if that favors Forkidden at all. It's just more time for you to score an own goal. Oh, we've seen some great ones today, but this one is as blatant as it gets.
There would just look like there was nowhere for poor Banana Head to go, and you know he felt the pressure of Fiber right there. And I guess the thought process is, you're not scoring, I'm scoring. This is my goal, okay? Get your own, even if it is in my own net.
If this keeps going, Direwolves, despite being one game down, would have more goals. And Forkidden to try to stop that right now. Super Lucky getting on the board with a strong shot in the top corner.
That was perfectly placed. My goodness, right off that post and in. Beautiful little shot from Super Lucky. I'm going to hedge my bets here and say that's going to be a little too late in this one. 5 goals, minute and a half.
Wow.
Not really feeling it. Yeah, I know. Really on the edge. But I do feel that's good to see from Forkidden, I suppose. This entire game, you've got to brush it out of your mind if you're Forkidden and find ways to get that aggressive tempo back.
We haven't seen Forkidden as well playing so close as we did before. They're kind of looking more aggressive, but in a solo play heavy style, and that's not what got them to this position. Maybe as well they're down 5 goals and they're not worried too much about what's going on. They may not even be coming, but I'd like them to try and reconnect with that play style using this time.
Exactly. It's just sort of treat it almost like, you know, that practice time. Get yourself back in that flow, back in what has been finding you success in the past. And to a lesser extent, I know it's only been about 20 seconds, but they are starting to spread out again a little bit. They are starting to sort of go for some of those challenges. So it looks as if they've taken that deep breath. They're starting that calming process. They're looking ahead towards game number 4. But for the Direwolves, this is the type of game that you need to turn your series back on track.
Well, they may have a chance here as Super Locky going for the pile drive, but ends up hitting it too high against the backboard. Clever touch from Direwolves, and yet I'm surprised that with that pre-jump he was able to make the adjustment in the defense from Forkidden, looking to touch each other in mid-air. Direwolves, creative play. They're just going to be happy going for a few freestyles here. Hopefully it doesn't bleed into the next game.
Yeah, we'll see how they're going to be able to, both these teams kind of drag things back on track. We've gone to Crazy Town. It feels like in every single grand final here in Oceania, like, there's one Crazy Town game, right? Like, it's just something that happens. Usually, again, it's Ground Zero and Renegades, but for Kitten and Direwolves, they keep that train moving. Now I'd like to see both these teams go back to what got them here to begin with. Let's return to reality, Yummy.
Both Misty and Walcott getting the hat tricks, and you look back at the past again of this Direwolves roster, and you look at Fiber normally to score 3, 4, 5 goals in a successful game. You got to give him credit that he's not trying to do too much, that he's willing to let his teammates have much more of an effect on this play, and that's allowing them to play faster as well, because they don't have to ever hesitate just when they think that Fiber might cut.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit surprising to see this from the Direwolves, just because we've grown, I feel, so accustomed to Fiber being that focal point, to Fiber being the one who's kind of taking games over. But Misty was the one who showed up today on form. Walcott, as you mentioned, always so consistent. It's good to see, you know, egos not getting in the way of what the team needs to do to get themselves back on track. Now, will Fiber still have opportunities for those breakout moments? I'd like to think so. I think Fiber will start to crank it up as our grand final progresses. But for the Direwolves right now, they did what they needed to in this third game. I'll be curious to see if, you know, they continue to rely on Misty and Walcott to drive their team.
We're also missing a little bit of speed there from Forkidden in that game, because their speed, I mean, everybody here is mechanically able to be just as fast. Their speed was about how close they were able to play to each other, how close they were to every single play, so they could be first to that ball, and we just saw them back off a little bit in that game.
Yeah, they would back off after sometimes, I think, almost overcommitting. So like they play super far forward, recognize they're kind of out of position, and then almost fall too far back. Almost squeaking it in that top corner. Not quite finding the goal this time. Walcott will stay with the play. Does have Fiber behind, who will play it up. And now we're looking at see the Direwolves establish some offensive rotations.
There's a quick backboard there from Misty. He's set up like he was able to do earlier, but wasn't able to beat the Forkidden members. It's going to be Fiber instead, looking for the fake underneath, but no bite here for Forkidden. A bump as Walcott looking for the solo play. All 3 members of Direwolves looks for a solo play of their own.
Yeah, yet Forkidden had each of them red, but this one will get through. Fiber takes the lead for the Wolfpack.
This is huge. Once again, Misty slamming that backboard. No one from Forkidden was ready for the quick counterattack after Direwolves took control, and that's opened it up. Fiber doesn't miss those.
It's why you always need somebody on Fiber. Just look at the 2 different approaches. When the defender was there, Fiber gets disrupted, but if Fiber's left alone, those shots will always be so accurate. And now, the Direwolves, they're in position to try to set him up again. Perhaps no touch from Misty, though, means Fiber can only play it towards the middle of the field. Banana Head faster today. Scrub already cheated forward. Here comes Banana Head holding it in place, but it's a little bit off target.
Yeah, surprising to see Banana Head miss that. He was most likely not expecting the defender to leave the ball, and you can't expect Banana Head to be leaving that ball either. Some shaky moments. Maybe last game really getting to Forkidden.
Yeah, the nerves have to be cranking up right now. That last game was so one-sided, and when you've been dominant for so long, you need to regroup yourself. I mean, again, we're crowning a new champion here. That has to be on each of these players' minds, and the closer you get, the more nervous you get, the more you get shaky and second-guess plays when it comes to that first title. So I feel as if for Kitten, they still have plenty of time to regroup. It's still early days, but very uncharacteristic misses.
Direwolves have been getting the majority of the possession that forward half and keeping it at a point where Forkidden don't have the boost in attack. When they get that counterattack to the other end, that's when they're sitting a little bit too low. And maybe that's been the stopper here for Direwolves. Maybe that's the path towards shutting down that Forkidden offense that was scoring 4 or 5 goals a game.
It definitely seems to be finding successes thus far, and now Fiber has a chance to break it ahead. Misty commits as well, but neither can find the ball, and now Walcott in a tight situation finds the interception. Only super lucky to beat, but has Misty. That should be a goal. It's off the post, and there's no third member there.
Very smart play from the Direwolves, but the execution in terms of the pass to the shot wasn't quite as crisp as it needed to be. Super lucky with a shot. A diving save from Direwolves as they were really pushing out of the defense to try and challenge to stop that early shot that's been so successful for Forkidden. And that's a release of pressure there from Direwolves.
Oh, Walcott making multiple defenders miss going up the other way. However, yeah, I think that was just more to buy time than anything else. Again, the Direwolves are setting themselves up on that backboard demos whenever they press forward. An opening for Forkidden, but this time no one there to challenge Fiber. So used to seeing someone go for that dunk for Forkidden. They're starting to set themselves up a little bit further back.
Oh, an attempted fake, and it may have worked out for the setup at least. Scrub looking to go underneath. 3 members of Direwolves had to dive for that one. It could be dangerous here as Forkidden have lots of boost this time. They've got a shot in. It's in. Scrub finds it underneath.
Spike down with authority for Kitten. Get the equalizer. Yeah, Misty and Walcott were there, but the angle was too crisp. Fantastic goal for the blue side. They equalize, 1:15 left.
Too low for Misty on the backboard. Too fast for for Walcott on the ground. For Kitten, they've upped the pace again. This is what we wanted to see. The bump on Fiber. It's opened up the net. But it won't be enough to score the goal. This is starting to get very close here.
Misty?
4 more in an important game.
Couldn't quite get that reset. I mean, Direwolves are still looking, and when they're given space, they're still going back to those solo plays. I want to see a few more of those passes again. That's where they look the most dangerous, it feels like, in this matchup, although Walcott looks dangerous there, and it's off Banana Head. Direwolves capitalize on the own goal.
One moment of panic, and Banana Head. It's been split right down the middle. Banana Head has scored it in his own net, and Walcott credited with the goal.
That is going to be a painful one for Forkidden. Just 3/4 a minute to find that goal. They have the possession. Scrub will play it forward to Banana Head. Backboard was kind of open, but not enough power there. Direwolves now, can they keep that ball on the blue side of the pitch? If they can keep Forkidden back, that could be their best chance to win.
Well, looking at the Direwolves, who were almost counted out earlier. I remember Formore was talking about them losing 8-0, I felt like, a second ago, and now they've clawed this back. Looking like a very good game here with only 14 seconds left.
Forkidden are still going to take a shot, you'd have to think, on their backboard with 10 seconds to go. Banana Head leads the charge, has Scrub underneath, shot, target, saved off the post by Fiber. That will keep the Direwolves alive. That will take us to a tied Game 5.
You gotta hate Fiber. He's able to make saves like that, pinching it with the crossbar, keeping that 1 goal lead. And for Kitten, they had felt it, they smelt it, but Direwolves hold on.
That was Fiber coming up big, and it might not have been the big flashy goal, but you don't get much flashier of a save than that. Still was the MVP, again, going by score, so Fiber is having more of an effect, I feel like, on this matchup, but overall, for Kitten, they had their opportunities, they had their chances. Same with the Direwolves, execution maybe lacking a little bit on each side.
Oh, for sure. It is a bit of a messy game, but that's what's happening when you've got Forkidden, who are always trying to up the pace, and Direwolves trying to counter that, slow it down every now and again. And so there's a back and forth in terms of who can control that game. There's times as well where Direwolves do have to try and outpace, and when you're playing as fast as possible, it does make you less accurate overall.
But what I'm finding most impressive about the Direwolves right now is how they're finding ways to match pace or just keep up just enough to have those stronger defensive efforts. Because when we go back to games 1 and 2, Forkidden were just driving circles around Direwolves. Now, it looks like Direwolves are making these plays, yes, by the skin of their teeth, but they're making those plays. They're keeping up with them, and then they can look to aim to slow it down. So they've kind of checked off step 1 and 2 with these 3rd and 4th games. Now, if they can keep this going, yeah, maybe they can finish off this series. Maybe we don't even go to a second best of 7. Forkidden is now the team with the pressure to somehow find a way to accelerate even more.
It is a tied series here in the grand final of winter event number 1. The next person to take this, if it is Direwolves, will put themselves on tournament point. Otherwise, it's series point here in the first round of the grand final. And oh my goodness, we could be 10 minutes away from crowning a champion.
Yeah, Direwolves getting closer and closer to that goal. It was a prime opportunity for them. I mean, they could do it without playing either of the 2 major favorites, but hey, I don't think that bothers them at all. They would love those points. They would love to get a seat in our next major. As we watch, Misty has the reset, has the dish down, but no one there to collect.
Well, Direwolves did take the win over Renegades, so you'd have to give them some favorite to say that they have earned their spot. They also took down Forkidden earlier on to put themselves in favorite spot as well. And as we've proven, Forkidden might be one of the best, if not the best team in the region. So Direwolves, no easy wins here.
No one has had easy wins today. I think that's one of the benefits of this format as well. This double elimination, this loser bracket, so cutthroat. So many good matches, so many teams drop out early. To come to this conclusion, to come to this moment where the Direwolves could be upsetting everyone and taking a tournament win, or will it be Forkidden as they now have the lead?
That was something we were missing from Forkidden towards the end of last game. Banana Head pushes in the center and immediately goes for the bump. And look how close Scrub is following behind. There's so much confidence now. It looks like they're back to that playstyle that's been successful.
Yeah, exactly. Any challenge right there out of the Direwolves that doesn't result in a clear, Scrub scores that goal. It is so dangerous when Forkidden moves forward like that. Granted, the risk is if the ball gets overhead, good chance the Direwolves are the teams that find that goal, but that's why I kind of see Forkidden as fearless time and time again. They take those risks. They play those percentage games, and more often than not, it works out for them.
The 50s haven't been as dominant for Forkidden either in the last one, so maybe another area where they could bring it back for that previous dominance. The first goal's got to give them confidence here as there's a pass up to Banana Head, but he's actually going to back off and let Scrub go to play.
And Scrub gets the bump, gets the demo, in fact, on Misty. That puts a lot of pressure on Fiber right now. He's trying to play off the backboard. The net is open, and it is in for Kitten, up 2-0.
That's so clever from Super Locky. He has the chance to go for the double, but he knows Fiber's kind of hanging in that area that Misty could go for the save, and he passes it across, allowed by the fact that, again, Forkidden playing so close to that net.
And those are my favorite types of goals, too, when you use your mechanics for the team, turn it into the pass, outwit your opponents in situations like that. And that's when these younger teams, that's when these young gun players that are emerging in the scene become the most dangerous.
Walcott, though, he's the experienced player. He's been to Worlds, and he wants to go back. We might be looking at the back of Direwolves' Will Walcott in order to push this team forward, and hasn't been able to get those dribble plays that have been very successful for Walcott, and that's thankful to Forkidden getting these strong challenges.
My gosh, Forkidden, they're just bullying the Direwolves on their own side of the pitch right there. Everyone just throwing bumps around the Direwolves. Yeah, we're not seeing those dribble plays because they're always just getting sort of roughhoused around, even into their own teammates, Yummy. Direwolves just unable to get clean approaches on the ball.
Yeah, you really don't want to see that. The double commit between Misty and Walker, and worse off, not just a double commit, but a clear miscommunication on who should be hitting that ball, and end up costing Direwolves any chance of a goal, something that they're in sore need of right now, especially with Forkidden constantly staying in that Direwolves half and giving them so few opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like we had a 30-second period on the Forkidden side of the pitch. It's already come and gone, and again, the Direwolves need to put in so much work just to get onto the attacking half for Kitten. No space given. It's passes, it's challenges, and now it's going the other way. Fiber gets one through for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, there's such a thing as having too much confidence here. Super Lucky gunned it forward thinking, you know what, we could take that pass. I could win the race. And Scrub's never going to be able to get back in time for a strong shot. So Direwolves have been given their chance.
You can only go for it on 4th down so many times until eventually you give up possession for Kitten. They still have the lead, though, playing their style, but it's going to be tied. Fiber dribbles it in.
And you have to say, uh-oh, for that one. That's a mistake off the kickoff. Scrub giving the ball away. Super Lucky got bumped, and Banana Head wasn't ready to get back, so a freebie there for Direwolves. They were out of it a second ago.
Yeah, blink and you missed it. All of a sudden, the Direwolves right back in this series. I feel like this next goal, it's probably going to be that golden one, the way these two teams are going at it. Walcott throws one down into the box, but Direwolves playing 2 defenders back. It's a later challenge in its possession, given back to the team in blue. Scrub has the reset, but has Fiber in his face as well.
Forkidden may be looking for this next goal as they go for the redirect, and even still Scrub charging forward. It's attempted pinch to go out from Direwolves, the demo as well. You give them an inch, they take a mile, Direwolves. You got to be worried. But now it's Scrub with an opening. It's a goal! That was such a close chance for Forkidden to get on a match point.
Super Lucky won such a big 50 to set that up as well. The Direwolves were reeling, and that is a shot that we've seen Scrub make earlier today. A bit surprising he misses this one. 30 seconds remaining, still tied 2-all, both in this game and this series. Shot from Banana Head, barely misses.
That was such a good 50, such a good difficult read as well. They weren't able to generate enough luck on that one for Kitten. In a good spot still to score off the corner, but it goes the other way. Walcott was ready for it. A bit of a mistouch there. That's good. A chance. Direwolves, they've sunk you with 3 seconds remaining. Fiber comes in clutch.
What a 50, what a read, and the spread out Direwolves play pays dividends for Kitten. They were trying to get that tight spacing. They were grouping in that corner. Too much of the pitch given away at an inopportune moment. The Direwolves, they should be going to match point. Last ditch effort though for Kitten. Ball's in front of the net. Scrub is there, but it hits the ground.
Oh, it's the tiny mistake that happened right at the end that decided it all. It was a 3-goal comeback from Direwolves that got them the game. And now the Wolfpack are on match point. They're on tournament point for their first time. They could be taking a championship.
And how are they doing it? Well, off this game, Fiber with the hat trick. Coming up big. That was 3 goals in a minute and a half. And yeah, we're going to see the timeout come for Kitten because they have lost 3 games in a row right now. They need to find ways to get themselves back in that flow, back in that mojo, back in that lead.
And disrupt Direwolves as well. Forkidden probably could have taken that timeout in the last one, but it has seemed that they were comfortable to take it, and it just fell apart a little bit at the end there. So we'll see if there are any adjustments. I think it's just about creating confidence. I actually don't like how much Super Lucky is talking here. I want them to keep it simple, go to their play style, and just keep morale up. But it really looks like they're having a big conversation.
I mean, it could be that motivational speech, right? They could have that emotional music playing, just rallying the troops, the fire in your blood, all of that, as opposed to strategy. As, I mean, he is looking pretty fired up right now, so it all depends on what is being said, although I'm with you. Don't overthink things at this stage. Your style is working. It's high risk, but it's been high reward. It's how you've gotten here, and it's still easy to take it back.
I've seen so many teams unfortunately overthink. I've been a part of a team that unfortunately overthunk a important series. And for Kitten, hopefully they are able to adapt here and take us through to a game number 7. But Direwolves 3 in a row and looking very good to take out the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they've been grinding for, what they've been working, all intersplit for this moment. Granted, They've had, some trials along the way. Forkidden, they came out swinging, but as the series has progressed, I think the Direwolves, they have adapted to that speed, they've adapted to that flow, and now all of a sudden, Fiber has been unleashed. Those past 2 games have scored 5 goals for the team, is becoming that focal point once again. They just need to do it one more time.
Direwolves on match point. But Forkidden are not going to let that go through easily. They brought it back in the last game and unfortunately let it slip at the very end. Maybe they'll be able to keep that pressure up from the start of this one.
And you can't help but think of the implications as well. If the Direwolves find their win right here, what does that mean for their chances at going to our next international land? I'd say it puts it pretty high considering some of the results, considering how the seeding will now work out. This is such a momentous occasion for the Direwolves. They just have to finish.
Well, considering the performance of both these teams, you're going to think that they'll be able to get at least close to this area once again. Top 3s, maybe across the split even. Both of them have got the performances that they needed across this event to prove that they belong here. But only one team can take the grand final.
Exactly. Only one team can get that #1 seed moving forward, that easier group, the simpler path to get those consistent top 3 finishes. And when you have the win under your belt, 2 advancing, your odds look good. Shot was on target. Super Lucky makes the last second save.
Clutch demo as well. To make sure there was no follow-up there from the Direwolves. Another bump on Direwolves too. Forkidden once again getting very physical here. It's Scrub stealing away the boost at the same time. It's not going to have an immediate effect, but it may if this continues. It was a good clear to prevent that pressure play from beginning.
I think you were the one who pointed it out to me before, though. Look at where the physical play is happening. In the past, it was happening when Forkidden was on the attack, trying to blast open doorways to the goal. But this time around, a lot of that physicality is Forkidden on defense, trying to disrupt the Direwolves, and you're not getting that same immediate effect. Forkidden has to find ways to keep the ball forward. This could have been it. Great little play by Misty to stop the pass.
Some of these goals are getting incredibly close. That could be all the difference. Misty! He's found the top corner. Direwolves looking towards this championship.
And what a pass from Fiber as well, through traffic and tries to go for a little bit of a fake. Super Lucky had 2 attackers to worry about, kept their eyes on Fiber instead of Misty, who just doesn't miss apparently. 1-0 lead for the Direwolves, 3 minutes away from winning their first regional.
All the pressure on Forkidden now. They're the ones who have to extend a little bit further to score, but maybe that's what they're most comfortable with. Maybe that's an advantage for them. As Direwolves, their fingers have got to start shaking as well, as they know they are moments away from taking it all.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a long dry run for the Direwolves since they've really been in a position even remotely similar to this for some of these players. I mean, Walcott, yes, has been a top before, has, seen some finals appearances, has had some wins with the Attack of the Invisible Ninjas. But for the others, this is the closest they have ever been. 2 minutes away now. Direwolves, they are so close to that finish line.
Forkidden have been assaulted for the last 30 seconds there by the Direwolves attack. They have been able to manage boost, but not able to push up at the same time for that quick counter, for that quick passing play. And another early challenge from Direwolves, preventing Forkidden from having time on the ball, from getting any change of direction.
And now we have Fiber with the reset. However, Super Lucky will play it forward, gets the interception, but keeping 2 defenders back means you get lob shots like that. It is so difficult to stop the Direwolves once they establish themselves, and Forkidden forced on that back foot. They're struggling to get any pressure on the pitch. Misty going for the double, had the angle. Banana gets the save.
It's now been a minute in attack for the Direwolves. They just won't stop. They won't give a breath of fresh air for Forkidden, as they're not getting any free touches right now. Forkidden are driving, so Direwolves are driving this, and they will not stop challenging anything.
No, they will not. It's very Forkidden-esque at this stage. 1 minute to go. The ball finally going to that orange side of the field. Banana Head tries to play the backboard, but Walcott finds a way to slow it down. And every time that pace slows down, it's another sort of step closer for the Direwolves. Under a minute remaining, the Wolfpack, they can taste that victory.
Huge saves as well coming out from the Direwolves. They're holding on by the skin of their teeth.
That's what they've been doing all series long. 40 seconds now for Kitten. They're on that hunt. 1 or 2 touches could possibly do it, but again, the clear comes through. Super Lucky tries to play it forward. Misty's already there.
Just no room to breathe for Forkidden at the moment. They're in the defense, 30 seconds for their lives on the line.
And Banana Head has to be the one trying to play it forward right now, looking for anyone behind him. Scrub plays it forward, gets the demo, but the shot still isn't there.
A chance here for Forkidden as Banana Head, he's got no support. Where's the rest of Forkidden? They only have 10 seconds. They need to be pushing up.
They're trying to right now. You see Scrub and Super Lucky. They're forward. The ball is in front of the net. They've got one last chance to make it happen. Banana shot, saved by Misty, and the Direwolves win their first regional.
The Winter Champions for the first time ever after a year of trying over and over again. It is going to be the Direwolves. Wolcott, Misty, Fiber, stand up proud, stand up strong. What a way to start the winter split.
And it's kind of crazy to